Bob Lazar, Area 51, and flying saucers. I just watched the documentary last night. I had an opportunity to interview Jeremy Corbell about a week ago, had an amazing interview. The information he brought to the table was fantastic. So last night, I saw the film Bob Lazar, Area 51, and Flying Saucers available on Amazon. So I said, you know what, I've got to watch this. I purchased it. It was $15, and it was about the best $15 I've spent yet on disclosure. In my opinion, this changes everything. If you watch this documentary, and by the end of the documentary, you don't believe there's technology, advanced technology from another planet that is so far above and beyond most people's pay grade, it's insane. We're talking anti-gravity propulsion systems. So I'm going to give you my review in just a minute. Before I do, I want to let you know that there's a few days left for this special. If you go to patriotflashlight.com, use the code LEAP25, you'll get an additional 25% off, so a total of 75% off, the coolest flashlight on the planet. It's solar powered. It's got a ridiculous brightness lumens on it. It's got a glass breaker, a wire cutter, a rope, and you can even plug your cell phone into it because it's got a bank that'll charge your batteries with a USB port. PatriotFlashlight.com, code LEAP25 for a total of 75% off. Okay, so now let me share with you the notes that I took. I'm going to share with you some notes. And we've already got a couple hundred people here. It's nice to see because I don't know what kind of alert notification goes out when you just do a quick upload via mobile phone. And yeah, it's an exciting day today. Beautiful blue skies out here in southern Colorado. And Jeff, I'll have to watch you later. I just got a notification for Jeff doing a live show, the Christian whistleblower. Good dude. Okay, advanced alien technology. First of all, my question is, do you believe that Area 51 houses technologies that are from another planet? Alien technology. Exotic cosmic technologies. That sounds exciting, doesn't it? Well, I do. According to Mr. Lazar, and I didn't see a lot of Mr. Lazar's interviews in the past. What I did see, I said, I feel this guy's legit. And then when people came out attacking his character, when reporters called up Los Alamos and other organizations that he said he was with, and they said, oh, we never heard of him. And then they've got pictures. They're like, well, why is there a picture of him working for you then? They're like, we don't know. Makes you question, right? Makes you question the official story. Well, when people come out and start bragging about nuclear technologies, nuclear rockets to go into outer space versus anti-gravity, and then they're going after that, going after Bob, saying that he's just making stuff up, makes you go, I wonder why that would happen. What's the agenda here? Well, in this documentary, Bob Lazar, Area 51 and Flying Saucers, amazing. Watch it. Spend the $15. Get it. It'll blow your mind. If you want to know about disclosure, get it. And I'm not making a dime to say this. Justin's not paying me a dime to say this. I mean, it's that good. It's awesome. I watched it last night. I'm like, you know what? I got to do a review on this thing because this is insane. So imagine the military picking up 9 spacecraft, exotic cosmic technologies that use anti-gravity reactors. So far above and beyond what anybody has used in the lab here that it just rewrites physics. It's completely different physics. Well, here's what makes this even more interesting about this interview. Or not this interview, but about this, I'm so used to doing interviews, I say interview, but about this documentary that was put together by Justin and Bob. And you can actually, if you go to Extraordinary Beliefs, I'm looking at his website right now, go to extraordinarybeliefs.com. You can read about it there. Watch the podcast that I did with Justin the other day also to get a nice glimpse into the other side of technologies. So 9 craft. And then you might ask, well, how did they get the craft? Did they shoot the craft down? Did they call up did they call up Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters opened up a portal for them? Was Aleister Crowley and Parsons and Hubbard that opened up some vortex and then Lamb started falling in? How did they get these craft? Well, according to the information that I have, watch the documentary, they found these craft unharmed. Most of them have, just perfect condition. They found them in some kind of like archaeological dig or something. Now you can read plenty of scriptures and plenty of stories, history. You can look in cave paintings, you can look at carvings, and you can see what looks like flying saucers and extraterrestrials. Where I live is one of the most paranormal hotspots on the planet. Out here in southern Colorado, the conquistadors reported seeing UFOs out here, flying saucers, rod-shaped craft in the skies. It's pretty intense out here. I've seen some things that are insane. I've seen stuff out by the Mesa, Archuleta Mesa. Chris and I the other day saw this craft. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was one of ours because of the lights that it had on it. At first we thought it was a helicopter. At first we thought it was something lighting on the top of a mesa, so when planes flow by, they could see the light. That's what Kristen said. I said, I don't think so. Then it got closer and closer and closer. I said, oh, it's probably a helicopter. I jumped out of the car. I was so excited. I took a couple pictures. I know what I should have done is hit video because it was dark and it was a little ways away, so it's attempting to zoom in on it. It's blurry. Well, then when it leaves, Kristen and I are like, wait a second. That thing didn't make any noise. It was totally silent. So some type of silent craft flew past us when we were close to the Archuleta Mesa. There's a lot of woo-woo out there. Speaking of woo-woo, Cliff High is going to be on the program at 2 o'clock Central, 2 o'clock Pacific, 2 o'clock Mountain Time. And he has some insane woo-woo, like mind-bending, expanding woo-woo. So you want to be there for this one. He even texted me yesterday. He said, Rex, get some sleep. I've got a lot to discuss with you. I've had a dozen interviews with Cliff in the past, and he has never, it was actually email, he's never emailed me a day early and said, Rex, get some sleep. This is big. So you want to be here for that one. But this is where it got very interesting, folks. Element 115. Element 115. Element 115 is what is supposed to power these anti-gravity propulsion systems. Well, Bob had a conversation with Justin, the producer of Area 51, Bob Lazar, Area 51 and Flying Saucers, the documentary. In my opinion, right now, this is the best documentary there is for disclosure. The best. Because you look at Bob, and you watch Bob in these interviews that he did in 1989, and then you watch the interviews that he did with Justin, when Justin was just following around for a week. You look at him in the eyes, you watch his body language. If you know how to read people's body language, if you're good at telling if is somebody lying, is somebody telling a story, is somebody making something up, is somebody fabricating something, just watch him. He's legit as it gets from what I've seen. And to add to that, he's passed all the lie detector tests that they gave him. Well, this Element 115 that he had a discussion with Justin in the woods. They went out in the woods and talked about this stuff, away from everybody and everything. So they thought they were in the middle of the woods, and they thought that nobody was listening. And they had a conversation about Element 115. And then guess what? Bob's offices were raided the next day by the Federal Bureau of Investigations. And then the conversation was repeated back, word for word, what they said. How did that happen? Satellite? Spies with cloaking suits running around like G.I. Joe style, where you've got these LCD screens on and it takes what's behind you and it puts it in front of you. They didn't have their phones. They didn't take their phones. They didn't take any electronics with them. How did they hear it? What did they get? But it's all a conspiracy. It's all swamp gas. We should be using nuclear rockets to send people into space, not anti-gravity propulsion systems that are being reverse engineered. Area 51, the most mysterious place on the planet. One of them. Now everybody knows about it, but nobody can get in. Places. I can't wait to share with you some information on Area 51, but I can't yet. I can't. But that's okay, because I have a trillion clones of myself. So if something happens to me, there'll be another one that pops right up and it'll tell you what happened. And I'll just transfer my consciousness into the other sleeve And speaking of sleeves, did you see the Tesla sleeve demonstration where they had these humanoid-looking figures in glass, and they're like, hey, would you like to download your consciousness into this new sleeve? It's totally solar powered, dude. It's awesome. You should check it out. And you're like, what the heck is that, man? So, Element 115, the office is getting raided. And then I told you about the recordings, and they went out in the woods. They thought they were away from everybody, and then somehow they heard everything. The 9 craft recovered. 9 craft recovered. 9 flying saucers with anti-gravity propulsion systems. This is awesome. So, I mean, you've got to watch this. I'm so excited. I want to go run around in the snow naked. Well, I want to do that anyway, but it's just really, no, I don't. It's freaking cold out there. Are you serious? It's too dang cold, man. I don't even like to run around my house naked because it's cold in my house. It's cold in my house. The insulation in here sucks. And I've got Gerald Clark on the show later. How cool is that? I mean, talk about a trifecta of awesomeness. The review of Bob Lazar's film, amazing. Then Cliff High, email me the day before, Rex, you need to be ready for this. You need to get some sleep. And then Gerald Clark. I mean, is it Christmas already? All right, I'm just saying. So, and what about the attempted cover-ups? What about all the disinformation? Oh, Bob, we never heard of him, man. Who? Oh, that guy, he's a charlatan. Well, yeah, I know. Oh, it's in the yearbook. It's in the files. Wait a sec. Where'd you get that? They must have made that up. Oh, let me see that picture. Oh, yeah, I can't explain it. Man, the greatest story of all time that almost was never told. Bob, I love you, man. I want to give you a hug, dude. You don't know how happy I am that you are with us and that you're rocking, man. I know that you didn't want to get in the limelight, and I know that you didn't want to bring this information to the table, but this is so important. This is so important for science and for humanity and for everybody that was ever called a conspiracy theorist in a demeaning fashion. Now you can say, yeah, I think for myself, I'm a conspiracy scientist. What are you? Oh, you're an assimilated Borg cog? You're a cog of an assimilated Borg? How does that injection feel of thimerosal? Do they give you extra squalene, extra adjuvants? I'll bet you like it, don't you? Oh, Bob, you're my hero, man. You were awesome. So Area 51, not so secret anymore, yet good luck. Like, they've got that whole place surrounded. You'll start seeing the, what do they call them? The camo guys. You'll start seeing camo guys in Raptor Fords and Ford Raptors that have like 400 horsepower. Place is insane. So imagine they find these craft and they're like, dude, we got to test these things out. Where do we do it at? Where do we test them out at? Well, we got to go test them out in a place nobody can see them. I mean, no wonder they're so secretive out there. It's one thing if you've got like a Russian pilot, like a Russian fighter jet or some type of foreign craft. But if you've got a freaking UFO from outer space, yeah, you don't want anybody seeing that. And then you start mixing that technology in with domestic craft. What if it crashes? What if they're testing stuff out there that's so far out and so fast and so insane that they have crashes that happen? Maybe, not necessarily on a regular basis, but maybe stuff out there crashes more often than we think, we know about. So they got to go recover that crap before somebody else is like, dude, look what I found. It's an anti-gravity propulsion system. This is amazing. And they start floating. They're and they're just like, but then Bob brought up another amazing point. Think about all the stuff that's in the Bible. As an example, the Ark of the Covenant. People just looked at the Ark. They turned to stone. What about, or something like that. And what about all these prophecies, or not prophecies, what about all these hieroglyphics and these tombstones and these ancient tombs that were opened, Egyptian pharaohs, probably Atlantean pharaohs as well, and the Egyptians. No, they're Egyptians. The Great Pyramids of Giza, the original three, or at least the Cheops Pyramid. The Cheops Pyramid was probably around when Atlantis was. The ancients probably spoke via telepathically, so they didn't need to write stuff down. They could just walk up to you and pat you on the shoulder, and they could download everything you ever did just based upon the DNA that interacts with your own. Their pineal gland was so open that if they wanted to know something, it was like an instant download. They didn't need a computer to plug into their mind to download that. Well, now, let's imagine that you come up with, you find this technology, and you open up this anti-gravity box, this anti-gravity propulsion system. You open it up, and it's like shiny. You're like, whoa, man, look at that. And then you try and touch it, and you can't because there's like this gravity, there's like this force field, like ding, ding, ding. And then the next day, you don't show up to work. So your boss keeps calling, you don't show up. So they send people to your house, and now you're just like, you're an ice cube. You actually turn into an ice cube somehow. Because by touching that force field, it messed with your DNA, and within 12 hours, it rewrote the DNA at a cellular level, at the DNA level, at the strand level, and turned you into a giant ice cube, and you're still frozen. They try and unfreeze you. They can't. They start. They get these torches, and just still you're totally frozen. And then, like our ancestors might have looked at that. Even people today would look at that and say, oh man, it's magic. It's magic, man. It's a curse. They're demons. They're demons. I told you it was demons. It was in the Bible. Maybe it's technology. Maybe it's just something we can't explain. So for those that attempt to explain it, they use religion. They use faith, because faith is not knowing. Faith is believing in something you don't know. You can't prove. That's my definition of faith. Does it mean it's not real? No, it doesn't mean it's not real. It just means you don't have enough evidence to prove it, so you're using faith to believe in it. Faith can be a very powerful tool. I have faith in things. I have faith in many things I can't prove. So amazing, absolutely amazing. So let me ask you this. If these technologies are released into the world, anti-gravity propulsion systems, cars, trucks, airplanes, now you can build a spaceship. Forget about building a nuclear rocket ship to send to the moon. No, we've got an anti-gravity propulsion system. Let's just hop in and go. It actually creates a vortex as it moves. So it's creating this vortex, and it's sucking this craft into the vortex as it moves around. It's incredible. No, I mean, you got to have faith. You got to have faith. That sounded bad, but you got to have faith, man. Faith's awesome. I love faith. People call me all sorts of things because I don't follow the official status quo of their religious indoctrination dogma systems. So, I'll be called an antichrist. I'll be called the Jesuit shill. I'll be called the reptilian shapeshifter. I'll be called the demon. Okay? Well, maybe I'm exposing your own insecurities. So you're projecting your fears and your ignorance towards others. And on that note, I'd like to say be excellent to each other. Catch up with us later. Cliff High and Gerald Clark. So Cliff's going to be on at 2 o'clock Mountain Time. And then Gerald, I'm going to have Gerald on the show at either 6 or 7 p.m. Mountain Time. You're amazing. I want to thank you all so much for helping others. Be excellent to each other. Oh yeah, check out tinfoilcat.co too. Check this out. tinfoilcat.co. I am almost out of caps. So the response has been insane. Liners, almost gone. MK2s, I've got less than 10 of those left. I've got a handful of the MK1s left. And the gold edition, we're working on a new gold edition cap. Remember, these have 5G liners in them that block up to 30 gigahertz, which is in the 5G range. Well, if you go to tinfoilcap.co, you can see the inventory that we have left. But these ones are really cool. They've got the tinfoil cap shield insignia that the architect put together. Julian put this one together. And then, so I've only got a few of these guys left, the MK2s. A few of these left. You see, it looks like tinfoil, but it's not. It's not real tinfoil. But that way, if somebody calls you a conspiracy theorist and says, "Where's your tinfoil hat?" you say, "It's right freaking here, man. Where's yours?" And then this is the liner. So you can see it uses two different fabrics that block the lower frequencies and the higher frequencies as well. And wouldn't it be cool now if, like, the next step? I mean, something's watching out for Bob. Someone is definitely watching out for Bob. Otherwise, things would be different right now. And I think he's very intelligent. I think he's probably got a, now this is just my thoughts. I don't know. I'm just, this is just my, that element 115, maybe that's a contingency plan to keep him, to keep him around. Is just don't let anybody find it. Don't let anybody find it. So wouldn't it be cool if he reverse engineered that stuff? And he found a way on his own in his own laboratory to make element 115. And then one day he was like, "Oh yeah, I just released it to the world." And everybody's like, "Dude, I got this stuff, man. I'm just floating." They're like floating to work. "I want to float to work." Oh yeah. So, and also, I just thought it'd be kind of fun to add this to the, because my friend Joel Payne painted this. He's an incredible artist, and he painted this, and I thought to myself, wow, look at that. It's got one of those hovercrafts on it. And I'm thinking to myself, the hovercrafts, I wonder if those hovercrafts use similar technologies just on a smaller scale. Because it's one thing to hide technologies for national security. I get it. I totally get it. There's certain technologies that are out there that you just need to keep a secret. Because if other people got those technologies, then they could do stuff that could mess a lot of people up. So I totally understand that. But if you had a system in play, for example, smaller systems, so you could just drive to work and maybe not necessarily drive to Saturn and check out the rings out there and go hang out at the resort that was built on Iapetus a long time ago, according to some people. Could you imagine how different things would be? It'd be insane. It'd be awesome. It'd be like the Jetsons. The MFers don't want that. They want complete control. One of the biggest control systems. Fuel, energy. Control energy, you control the people. If you had free energy, if you had abundant energy, if you didn't have, these nuclear reactors around the world, what would happen to the nuclear reactors? We can't even explain gravity. Wall Thornhill did a great job explaining gravity. We're barely at the level, okay, let me rephrase this. We're barely at the level of understanding gravity. So how do you find a device 30 years ago that's buried in the sand that has an anti-gravity propulsion system that built a worm, like a vortex around it, and you can move around free will. Like, you won't move. You think you want to go to Mars? Let's go to Mars. Yeah, come to Mars. You're there. Like Dr. Manhattan. And Dr. Manhattan, I heard we're related. I can't confirm that, but I did hear that. Dr. Manhattan is actually one of the Watchmen. They're coming up with a new Watchmen series. How awesome is that? A new series, Watchmen. Can't wait to watch it. Like, if anybody could compete with Thanos, Dr. Manhattan. If anybody could compete with Superman, Dr. Manhattan. I'm just saying. And on that note, be the change you want to see. See you soon.